Okay, recording. All right, welcome guys. It is July 16th. Welcome to our Team Liberate call. We have an amazing guest speaker on our call tonight, which I'm really excited about. Her name is Beth McDonald. If you don't recognize her, she is quite an awesome leader on Team Boom, and here are some stats about her. So she's been a coach for about 2 years. She is a diamond coach, which is awesome. She is a Success Club 10 All-Star, which means she has hit Success Club 10 for at least 12 consecutive months, which is huge. And she has 23 consecutive months hitting Success Club 5 or higher. So you're almost a Success Club 5 legend is what we call it when it's 24 months consecutively. She is a team leader on the leadership ladder. She is a Tier 1 Team Cup winner with 42 personally sponsored coaches, having lost over 100 pounds with 42 personally sponsored coaches, and has lost herself, which I'm sure you can see from my my call image from the other day, that she's lost over 100 pounds since beginning her journey with Beachbody, which is absolutely incredible. She is kick-ass. She's a mama, and she runs 3 businesses. And so she wanted to share tonight about like how she, efficiently multitasks and manages to be a mom and still run these 3 businesses and just get everything done without it feeling too overwhelming from day to day and week to week. So I know you're going to want to take some notes on this. I know we have lots of parents on this call who are going to, resonate with what she has to say. Even if you're not a parent, we all have busy lives. And I know that you're going to have a bunch of takeaways about how to kind of manage doing it all. Okay, so I'm going to hit it over to you, Beth. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm like surprised and like,
yeah, thanks. Don't be surprised. We have a lot to learn.
Like, what do you mean you want me to be on your call? Sure. What do you want me to talk about? Hi, everybody. I don't know everybody on your team, so you probably don't know me either, and that's totally okay. Thank you for the accolades. I've known Brooke pretty much since I started coaching. She was one of the first people to welcome me in the Team Boom page. So I just kind of want to dive a little bit into this. I do own 3 businesses. I didn't hear you, Brooke. Sorry.
No, sorry.
Okay. I do own 3 businesses, but I actually work 4 jobs. So my schedule is really a little bit insane, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that because sometimes fitting coaching in seems like a difficult task, especially when I first came on to coaching and I saw that we needed to do these 4 vitals almost every single day. I was just like, there's just no way. I'm not going to be able to get these vitals done. So I found a very unconventional way to do my vitals that has worked really well, and I've been consistently doing that since I started coaching. I originally came on as a coach to get the discount because if you're anything like me, you get a lot of packages in the mail. And my husband was like, all right, you're getting a lot of packages in the mail every single day. So I was like, oh, don't you worry about that one. I got a discount on that. So I really did not have any interest in coaching, mostly because I didn't know when I was going to find the time to do it. I'm not good at hand holding, so I couldn't imagine bringing challengers on and having to hold people's hands through that process because I barely had enough time to get myself through my workout and do all the work that needed to get done. So some of the things that I started right away doing is unconventionally doing my vitals. And what that basically means is I don't do all my vitals in one day. I don't do these power hours that have been existing since the creation of Beachbody coaches. I don't even do like what people call power pockets. I do 1 vital a day and I do it well. So I wake up about 35, 40 minutes before my daughter wakes up in the morning. And I check in with like my challengers who ended up like maybe working out now, and I didn't get to check into my challenge group tonight. So tomorrow morning I get up, I do some motivation for them, and then I check in with them, and then I do spend some time in the morning going through my messages and responding to people. And then I do my vitals like this, and every day looks different. So on Monday I invite. and I listen to PD in the car every time I'm in the car, including when my daughter's in the car. I think PD has been life-changing for me. It was something that I insisted I didn't even need when I started this business, because I thought I was all that in a bag of chips. But turns out, yeah, you totally need PD. And it helps me write my posts a lot. So it helps me dig really deep, much deeper than I normally would. I used to be extremely surface level with my posts, and now I'm like peeling back the layers of the onion. So I listen to PD in the car with my child every day, and my husband. If my husband's in the car, he listens to it too. He actually now listens to PD in his truck when he drives to work. So it's incredible. So Monday, I do my invites. Tuesday, I do all follow-ups and listen to PD in the car. Wednesday, I don't do any vitals. I only follow up on Wednesdays. And then I obviously listen to PD in the car again. Thursday, I do a lot of engagement. So I spend that time that I'm working doing engagement. So I find my target market people. I don't scroll through Facebook and like love on people and all that. I look for my specific next challengers. Like I'm looking for them in my scroll. So I don't love on everybody's stuff. I go specifically to those people that I want in my next challenge group. And then I love and comment and stuff on theirs. And then on Friday, I call it Friend Friday. On Friday, I send all my new friend requests. So I break the vitals up so they're less overwhelming for me. If I had to sit down every single day and do the vitals, one would end up in the scroll hole because I like to avoid them. And two, I get overwhelmed. And then when I'm overwhelmed, I tend to just run away from them. So breaking them up like this makes it very easy to effectively get them done. It's unconventional. I don't send out 100 invites. I don't massively send out invites. My invites look very different than a conventional invite. I love seeing everybody's invites when they are posting them in the team page. I actually do, and Joe knows this, and I think Brooke knows this too, I only video message invites. So I only video message. I do not respond to anybody in a text format. And so I saw a couple of people saying in the post today, they have to work from their phone because they don't want to be in front of a computer. If I'm not sitting in front of this computer, I'm not working. So I never work from my phone. I sit in front of this computer and I do exactly what's in this little box and I video message all my invites. And they all look different. And it really depends on my relationship with that person, how many conversations I've had with them, where they are with their journey, because a lot of them have their own smaller journey, like say Weight Watchers. There's a lot of people doing keto right now. And I tend to send them video messages like, hey, how's keto going? Just checking in on you. And I do video messaging only for invites. It's also how I follow up with everyone. It's also how I explain pricing. It's also how I communicate 100% to these individuals. And I tend to have a lot of trust because I'm just a regular person and they get to see me. I'm not in a hurry to sell them anything. So they get to see me for days. And some days I look like this. Some days I'm all dolled up and it doesn't even necessarily look like me. And some days I look like I'm in my pajamas because I am. They have yesterday's makeup on and I'm just super honest about that. And the more I do that, the more credibility I have, the less they realize I'm not trying to sell them something, because I'm not like, oh my gosh, we have this perfect option for you. Instead, I'm just like, okay, I'm running to the studio, then I got to get Nola to the tutor, and then I have to go to the library. I won't be home until 9 o'clock tonight. I'll video message you if you reply. Otherwise, I'll talk to you tomorrow. So it's like I'm not ever in a rush to sell them something. I'm never in a rush to get them to join the challenge group. So I'm going to stop babbling because I have a tendency to do that. So that's kind of like what my day looks like as far as the vitals. I do work 35 to 40 minutes in the morning. I work as soon as I drop my daughter off at school. I work as soon as I get home from one of the multiple jobs I have. And then in the evenings, like now after she goes to bed. So I think that I've made it a little bit more manageable when I break up the vitals like that versus trying to get them all in on one day. And then either half-assing that or missing a couple. I think it's important to get them all done. And I don't think there should be any rules on how you do that. Okay. What else? What else can I share with you? Unmute everybody.
Everybody knows they can just unmute themselves.
Okay.
Question. Joe, I just saw you have a question in there.
I have a question. So I'm very well aware of your video messages, like them. But how do you do any inviting, engaging through Instagram? And if so, how do you do that? Because
So
it doesn't allow you.
Instagram was something that I really hesitated to do because if it's not broke, why fix it? And I'm very successful with Facebook, so I didn't want to do Instagram. I did because it's you need to step outside your comfort zone. I do invite through polls a lot. I do a poll almost every single day, whether it has to do with coaching, has to do with what shoes I should wear. Like almost every single day I have a poll. And then you can video message. I understand through Instagram. I just don't know how to do it. So I actually record myself and then just send them my recording.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, I didn't know you could video message either through it. I'll try to.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people on a forum saying that they were video messaging on Instagram. I try to convert them over. Like, what's your name? Like, everybody's got these strange names on Instagram. So I'm like, what's your name on Facebook? This is so much easier if I can just video message you and we can communicate that way. Any other quick questions I can answer?
I have another question.
Shocker.
Yeah, well, hey. My dogs were yapping, so I had to get up. So I heard Monday you do your invites. Thursday you scroll and do your engagement and find your next challengers. Friday is friend requests.
Yeah.
What a Tuesday and Wednesday?
Tuesday I do follow-ups. I tend to do follow-ups every day, but I tend to follow up with people I haven't heard back from on Tuesday. So a little bit different than your traditional follow-up for people who've already replied. I go back months and months and months. Like I'm a paper and pen person. I have tried Teensy and I canceled my account after a year. And I went back to paper and pencil. So I'll go back like 3 months. Like who didn't get on the last challenge group? Okay, I'm going to message them. So those sorts of follow-ups. And then people who I've invited who just have not responded.
Okay.
And then Saturday, like I basically work the business every day except for Sunday. Sunday, I feel like is a nice family time day. And so I try not to work the business on Sunday.
And what was Wednesday?
Wednesday, I don't do any vitals. I just follow up and listen to PD. And that is because I own a fitness studio. I start at 8 in the morning and I'm not done until about 9 o'clock at night. And I instruct that entire day. And by the time I get home, the last thing in the world I want to do is work some more.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I think it's really neat. Sorry, I have all my
That's okay.
notifications going off and it's annoying me. If it's annoying me, it's probably annoying you. I think it's really interesting for us to see like how different people kind of make it work to fit their schedule. Because I think a lot of times we get kind of caught up in, we have to kind of do what we think we need to do, or we have to do what, this successful coach is doing or this person's doing, even if it's not kind of flowing with what else we have going on in life because, busy.
I felt like when I tried to have set business hours, although I do have set times that I do work the business, but when I tried to like put myself into the square, it didn't fit. Mm-hmm. I just struggled more and I got frustrated easily. And then I felt like it was checking things off the list. Like, okay, I did that. Okay, I did that. Okay, I did that. Instead of really focusing and being intentional about that time.
Right. So when you do your invites and your friend requests, since you're doing those once a week, are you doing like mass amount of them?
It really depends. Mondays I tend to do a lot. So during that entire time that I'm focusing on the business, I do, and video messages does take a little bit longer. So fair warning you, sometimes my computer is slow. So you record it and then you send it. And so there is a delay in that. So I'm not massively messaging like, hey, have a challenge group. Hey, girl. Like none of my messages look like that. And they're different for each person.
Right.
So it could be anywhere from like 5 people during that time, depending on, what their invite looks like, or 20 people, but it's not usually that high. It's shocking to me that people send out that many invites, but I guess when you're copying and pasting, it's easier than when you're being authentic and communicating directly to somebody and using their name and talking about their current journey and what you just saw on Facebook and stuff like that in a video. You have up to 2 minutes to send those video messages. So, a 2-minute video is a really nice invite.
2-minute video, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joe, did you have a different question here? Oh, do you also, okay. Engaging and inviting through Instagram. So do you, do you do that on Instagram? Do you like go to their page? Do you kind of watch their stories?
Not as much on Instagram. For Instagram, what I find is I look at the people who are watching my story, and then I message those people. Yeah. So I a little bit less. The people who I'm engaging with and like going to their page and stuff mostly happens on Facebook. Mm-hmm. But what I do for those Instagrammers is I reach out to the people who are watching my story every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. The poll feature is so awesome because I think for so many people, it kind of takes that intimidation out. Like all they have to do is press one of these buttons and then, the ball's in your court.
The funniest thing I did last month was I saw all of these people who watched my story, but none of them actually completed the poll. And I sent them all the same message, like, oh, I saw you picked blah, 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 like totally fibbing, totally. And they were like, I did? I'm so sorry. And that engaged the conversation. It got the conversation started. And I'm like, that's all right. Thanks for watching my story. Anyway, I'm totally going to hell for that.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. That's such a good idea.
It was effective.
Especially for those people who like will not answer you.
Yeah.
But you can see that they've seen your message. It's like,
yep.
Oh, thanks for finding, Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool.
So I'm like sneaky when it comes to stuff like that because I do know what it's like to be on the other perspective, like on the other side of, watching people's stories and then not engaging. It's like, well, why am I watching somebody's story and then like not completing their poll? And it's for the same reason that they're doing it to us.
Right.
Yeah. I wrote a couple things that I do almost every single day, if that would be helpful for your team. Obviously, I show up every day, whether it's for this business, except for on Sundays, which I'm still kind of showing up, but not. I show up every day, a video message. I do a call to actions almost every single day in my workout post. And I try to make my workout post, and you guys can look at them. I do a video almost every single day from the beginning of the year. And I just talk about my journey. So it's less about other people and more about me and what happens in my daily life that specific day. So that I can share like not just the good and the bad, but like the ugly. Like they basically see everything. I'm very crystal clear in those posts. I do stories every day. I do polls almost every day. I'm very authentic in my posts. And again, PD definitely helped me with that. So I decided that being real and being honest is better than faking it till you make it. I focus on 4 things. So if you look at my social media for the past year, I try to only focus on these 4 things: family, food, fitness, fun. Like I try to keep it short and simple, and I don't really add anything outside of that. I don't handhold my challengers, so I get them set up correctly in the beginning, and I let them know I'm here, and I give them my cell phone number if they need me, because I don't like them in my messenger, because my messenger's for prospects and potential challengers. So I give them my cell phone number, and I try not to hold their hand outside of that. They have all the tools that they need, and I have them in an excellent challenge group every single month, so if they need anything, they need to ask in the challenge group. Similar to Team Boom, if you have a specific question, instead of going right to your coach, you ask in the Team Boom page. or you look for the answer yourself. I do have an awesome challenge group every single month. Lots of engagement. I'm very much focused on my challengers. The challenge group that started today, we have 78 women in it. A lot of them roll over month to month to month. So one of my key things that I've always done is have an ongoing Facebook group, and I pull my challengers out of that. So every time we launch something new, you know that I'm excited and I'm going live in that Facebook group, and I'm pulling them out of the Facebook group to get them back in another challenge, to get them back on Shakeology, to get them ordering 2B Mindset. I had a ton of people who were in that group who weren't following a fitness program anymore, who ordered 2B Mindset. So that's where I communicate like all of the new launches and stuff. I also send out 2 emails to my customer list every single month, and every single email is different. So I talk about what's coming up, what I'm doing now, what's available for them, the coaching opportunity, and the discount. I communicate that twice a month. I just download and export that list and email them. It's a really good way for me to stay in contact, because when I am this busy and I can't hold your hand, it's a little bit difficult to constantly be like, hey, how are you doing? Checking in with my challengers every week.
Beth, really quick. So that email, that's through your Coach Online office? Yeah. Okay, and I can explain that more to you guys if you guys have any questions about that. And then the Facebook group, is that different than your challenge group?
Yep, I only do challenges in the challenge tracker.
Okay, I thought so.
Yep.
So how is the Facebook group different?
They are all my customers. Anytime they were a customer, they're just not challengers.
Okay.
So the challengers are in the tracker. They're also in that group, but during their challenge, they don't need to engage in that group at all. That's for when they just don't feel like they want to participate in a challenge group.
So how do you know when to put them in that group?
I put them in immediately. As soon as they order a challenge pack, I put them in the Facebook group.
Okay, so then how do you know to take them out and put them in the tracker?
I don't remove them ever from the group. I just add them to the tracker during the challenge group.
So how do you know who to add to the tracker? Like, do they tell you that they want to be actively involved?
Yes. So every single month I post what the challenge group is going to be in that group. And I say, like, let me know if you're in. Okay. And then as soon as they're in, I add them to the tracker.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can people be doing different programs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I have exclusive groups. So we have a 2B Mindset exclusive group on Facebook, a Lift 4 exclusive VIP group in Facebook, and then the challenge group is everybody in a multi-program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get the exclusivity in the Facebook group of just their particular program, like those 2 new ones, and we did it for ADD Obsession. And then in the challenge tracker, that's where I track them.
Okay.
And I don't do that in the Facebook group.
Okay.
Okay. I said email. And the only other thing that I have on here is that because I only work from the computer, I try not to work from my phone, which has actually given me a lot of freedom, because when I'm sitting on the couch, which is very rare, but say I'm like binge watching Scandal for, the first time in a week, and I see that there's people in my message box, like, I think when I first started this business, I really wanted to reply to them right away. Like, oh my God, somebody's in my box. Like, I'm so excited. And now I just leave them there. Until I'm in front of my computer and I can video message them, I've almost locked myself into not responding to them, because I can't do it the way that I need to do it for the both of us. So I open it, I can see that they're in there. I just I don't actually open the message until I'm sitting down in front of my computer. And then I have everything easily accessible on my computer. I started a YouTube page, which was also a little uncomfortable for me. But I did it anyway to send them videos when they're on board of like how to unbox your challenge, how to unbox your I did an unboxing, like, here's everything you should get. Let me know if anything's missing. Watch this the same time you open your box. Let's go through it together. How to access the workouts. The same conversations we have every day. What you get in a challenge pack. I actually did a YouTube video on like breaking down, like, first of all, I'm all about like, you're getting me, and that is the most important thing on the planet. And I just like say shit like that. Like, all right, well, who cares about the other stuff? You got me. Like, oh, and you get a shaker cup, big whoop. Like you just be yourself. And I think that's very helpful. So that's kind of what I wrote. And then, obviously being a product of the product, people say it all the time, but you cannot walk the walk and talk the talk. Like they have to go together. You have to be a product of the product. You don't have to have, when I first started this business and I was extremely overweight, I thought, how the heck am I going to, how is anybody going to buy into this if I look like this? It's okay. It's okay. People want to follow people who are doing something. There's too many people not doing anything. So you don't have to be in great shape. That's the beauty of this. This is helping us. And being consistent. And I think the first year of coaching, I really showed that my magic power was consistency. And when you see on Facebook that a lot of people start over and start over and start over, and every Monday they're starting fresh again, like it's hard to trust those people. Like why would you want that person as your coach? They got to start over every week. You're already doing that on your own. So, I think making consistency your superpower is really powerful. I wrote a couple things that I don't do too. Okay, Brooke. Things that I don't do. I don't push back when people say no. So I see a lot in Team Boom where people say like this person said no, and then the responses from people. If somebody tells me no and they give me a reason why, and a lot of the times it has to do with financial, I dig deep into my own reply to them. I video message them and I'm like, girlfriend, I know, been there. You know where to find me when the money comes in. Like I'm not going anywhere and I'm not going to chase you down. Like you know where to find me. And I found that a lot of people did come back and they were ready when they were ready. And if they were feeling like I was twisting their arm a little bit to order something that was going to put them in a financial bind, like they almost lose their trust in you a little bit. Like, I don't know. So I don't. And then when it comes to coaching in this business, I don't waste time. So I don't have time to waste. So as soon as I walk in the door and grab my lunch, which sometimes happens at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, grab it, sit down in front of this computer and work. I do not waste time. I do not beat around the bush. Like I get right to the task and get them done, because the faster I can get my work done and the more productive I can be in the shortest amount of time, the more time and freedom I feel like I have.
Yeah, that's it. I agree. Okay, cool. I know I saw a couple of questions in the chat. So okay. Dave was asking about doing PD in the car. So Dave's just getting more consistent with his PD, which is awesome. But he's saying, I'm having a hard time taking it from the car and implementing it. I get to work and hit the ground running. Any tips on implementing?
Well, it depends what you're listening to. So if I'm listening to PD in the car, sometimes I can tell you, Dave, it is kind of difficult, because if you're like light bulb and then you're like, well, I can't write that down. Like that sucks. I press pause and then I turn the radio on and I stop right where that is. And then as soon as I can possibly write that little sentence that really spoke to me down, I do. Because if I keep listening, I get lost in what all of the other new stuff is. So just press pause before you hit the ground running. Put a little Post-it note thing in your car, like a little small one with a little pen, and leave it there, or your notebook. I carry my calendar everywhere, and write that sentence down. Then hit the ground running and come back to it later. It's already written down. You have it in a safe place, and you can go back to it when time is right. Because I know how you feel. Sometimes when I pull up to work and my clients are already sitting there waiting for me 45 minutes early, I'm like, oh, I really had interest in like working on my social media right now, but thanks. I carry paper pen. I don't put anything in my phone. So here's my calendar. I write it all down, and I write those little PD like light bulb moments down in that. And I go back to it when it's time to write a post.
Yeah, so, I was going to say, like when you get to work, write it down. But I actually did that today. I paused it. I was like, because I'm reading The Tribe Called Bliss, and I want to record like all the questions she's asking. And so I paused it so that I know as soon as I turn it back on, I'll be like right at that spot. So I love that idea, pausing it. And then, yeah, I was going to say, just write it down as soon as you get to work or leave it in your car or something so that you can maybe like make a plan to implement it before you start even listening anymore. Like, you know, are you going to put that into a post? Do you have ideas that that's going to work for your challenge group or something? Kind of reach out to some other people to kind of bounce those ideas off one another before you, like Beth said, you know, continue on and more ideas are kind of flooding and taking over that thought.
Yeah, definitely pause that. Take even if that means you only listen to 3 minutes of PD. Yeah. You got something out of those 3 minutes, and that is the point of it.
Right. Yeah, I heard somebody once say, like, I don't, you know, have our 10 or 15 minute time frame for PD. I read or I listen until I have something to implement. Until I have a takeaway. You know, so that, you know, if like today I read like 3 pages of my book, but that's all I needed today. That's all I had time for. But you know what I mean? You know, that's the point of it. Okay, Joe, I don't know if this is a question. Use the plus clip feature in Audible. Save important points and go back later and re-listen to the clips. What?
Yeah, that was just I was answering Dave's question. Audible actually has a feature. It's down the bottom right-hand corner. It's like plus clip. If you just press that button, it'll record the last 30 seconds.
That's awesome.
That's what I do when I'm in the car because I only do PD in the car. So if I have that light bulb moment, like, shit, like this is going to be an awesome post, then what I'll do is I'll just hit that button and it saves it into a clip file area. And then you can just look, and it has the date and time. So you can just go back and listen to all that day's clips and it'll just record the last 30 seconds. So I can re-listen to it and then write my post or implement however I want. The other thing I do too is I use Siri quite a bit. Like if I listen to something and maybe it's not the way the author said, but it gives me an idea that, like, you know how my mind works. Like they could be talking about something totally different. And then all of a sudden I think, oh shit, that's a great idea. And I'll just press the button and I'll say, Siri, take a note. And then I'll just talk until she takes my note. So those are the 2 things I do. And then I could just go back and retrieve them later.
Yeah. Dave, sometimes if you listen to PD in the car and you get that like light bulb moment and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And you press pause, create your post in your head right then. Create it as you're driving when the car is silent and try to like articulate how you're going to communicate that. Then if you have the ability to open up your phone while you're driving, which is super unsafe, use the notes thing and communicate that post with your microphone into your notes so that you can go back to it later. Is that helpful? Okay.
Awesome ideas. Okay, cool. Sam is asking if you have any tips for engagement in your challenge group in the tracker.
Yeah, great question. So I actually asked this in Team Boom a couple months ago, like, does anybody have any awesome suggestions? Because I just feel like the challenge tracker sometimes is different than Facebook because there's not a lot of engagement. So what I did was I teamed up with 5 other coaches. We all take a day and each one of us is responsible for that day each week. Monday is Motivation Monday, and you wait for that coach to post their engagement, and all of the challengers have to comment on it. So they can, I forget specifically what today was because I'm not Motivation Monday. Tuesday's Transformation Tuesday. So Tuesday we do physical, non-scale, mental transformations. We only need 4 because it's usually a 4-week challenge group. Wednesday is Women Crush Wednesday. So you shout out another challenger in the challenge group. It's Workout Wednesday or something. Like every Wednesday is different. Thursday's Thirsty Thursday, and we actually don't do water. We do alcoholic beverages, skinny alcoholic beverages from Fixate, from the Beachbody blog. And then we ask everybody what their favorite like cocktail is, and we try to make that skinny for them. So we try to get more engagement in those things. Friday's Flex Friday. The other Wednesday was Wear It Wednesday. We do it on the 4th week, and you wear your Beachbody like T25 or 80-day obsession tank. And then that's when we talk about the Beachbody contest. And that's how you get your free t-shirt. And then we try to, so I have extras and so do some of the other coaches. So we put their name, every time they participate, we put their name into a little bucket and then we pull things for prizes at the end. And one of them would be a t-shirt with, a branded Beachbody item on it. What else do we do in there? We do videos in there. So I talk about coaching in there. I talk about my workout where I do a little video clip of my workout, even though they've already seen it. We post our kids and stuff in there. We try not to make it all about working out and Beachbody. We try to make it almost like our own little Facebook group. So we try to get the kids involved. We post food in there. So in the beginning of the week, I'll say take a picture of your favorite meal this week and be prepared to tell us what the ingredients is and how you cooked it, so that you're sharing your favorite recipe from the week. I don't know. We always do prizes. I know prizes are important. Oh, the other thing I do you know how on the Team Boom thing, Sam, it says especially in Coach Basics, when you did the what you needed to do or you commented on it, it said your name and then how many days you participated in it. Mm-hmm. I do that for my challengers' logs of their shakes and their workouts. So
how do you do that? Do you tally it yourself or?
So I used to tally it myself. Yes. I don't know if you can see this, but this was this morning's. Probably not so much. Not even a little bit.
It's all white. I can't really. Oh, now I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. I do it for all the challenge groups. And I don't do it now, but if you don't have a lot of people in your challenge group, it's really easy to do if you just pull them up in the, what it looks like as the office. And I would write down real quick how many logs they had of their shakes and their workouts, and I would do it in Publisher.
Did you do total for the whole challenge or each week?
Each week.
Okay, because I know for the tracker, it adds it up for you, but it's just for the whole challenge. So I guess you could just subtract to figure. I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to do it for a week. I guess
I only did it for the week when I did it for myself. So I would pull each person up and I would look at that calendar.
At them individually.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you have 70 some people in a group, it's really difficult to do it. So right now Dennis does it for me.
Okay. I don't have 70.
That makes my life way easier. And then, so splitting up their responsibilities has really been helpful too. So if you have a couple coaches that you could run a challenge group with, it certainly has helped make my life a lot easier. Last month I had 6 challenge groups all in 1 month and I was just losing my mind. So it was very helpful to have each coach participate in the day. And then just being engaged in that. So I noticed when I was in other people's challenge groups in the tracker, the coach was not really engaging. So I try to I have a timer on my phone and I spend 5 minutes going in and almost writing the same thing. And everyone's go get it, girl. You got this. Oh, look at those muscles. Go commenting on almost every post.
I do that.
Yeah.
I just think that the momentum always starts off high, and then I know this probably happens in face groups too, but then it starts to die up, and then there's just always those people who are I'm all in, and then they don't ever participate, and I always feel I'm messaging them on the side hey, are you how's your week going, are you gonna jump in, you bought a challenge pack kind of thing, how can I help you? I'm here to help. But I feel the
challenge groups.
I'm sorry,
how long are your challenge groups running?
Usually it's 4 weeks at a time. I've usually always done a prep week and then 3 weeks. This last 2 I think were 5. It was 5 weeks just because the weeks worked out that way.
Okay.
And then I did do one for a couple months where when I was doing 80-day obsession, because I only have the tracker app, but I would add people in to it and be hey, welcome so and so to the group, because I wasn't gonna not
Okay.
and new people. So
that's another thing I don't do, Sam, is I don't add anybody. Once the group is started, that's it. Your opportunity has closed. Like today in my Instagram story, I was like, and for those of you who didn't join me, sorry. Like I was like, there's another opportunity next week. Like I'm just like, meh, you're bad. Sorry, not sorry.
I laughed out loud when I watched your story for that today.
So what I do is when I have, so I would put them in my Facebook group until the next challenge group starts, which I typically will start another one in like anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks. So they don't have a long time to wait, but they have time to start prepping and get involved. And then I put them in my next challenge group.
Okay.
I think that your experience of people like kind of dying out and like just losing stamina is something we all experience. The only people who are still damn excited every single day is us. So it's not, I don't think it's anything that you could be doing differently. I think we all experience that. So I think a 4 to 5 week challenge group is fine, and getting them to roll back into the next one, into the next one, into the next one.
I just don't do any of the things with like tracking because I thought it would be like, I wasn't sure if it was going to be time like effective to get that extra like engagement. And so I haven't really done like a lot of prize type of things, which I think could be like fun. But I was thinking of maybe doing some like pop-up challenges to kind of incorporate the prizes versus the tracking. I just, with limited, time to spend, like to be sitting there tallying, like I don't know if that's the best way.
I agree. And last month I did a challenge in the challenge. So we had the week-long challenge where we did like a water challenge all week. The next week we did a squat challenge. Like we just had things like that, pop-up challenges, or like a day challenge, like plank, take a video of yourself planking for as long as you possibly can and we'll all try to beat you. Like I'm extremely competitive. So I try to make them all extremely competitive with each other. And basically that's just driving their results. So
those are all good ideas. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I was going to ask about like different challenges that you've done.
I mean, you name it. I probably figured out somehow or another to incorporate it into my challenge. Like, let's all work out without our makeup on or yesterday's makeup and post our picture with yesterday's makeup on. like really ridiculous things. But just very like driven to have them be successful, I think is my most important thing, because I find that my challengers have been extremely successful since they've started with me, and that is probably because I'm extremely engaged in the challenge group with them. Mm-hmm. I want to provide them with the best experience. Like, I don't know how you guys came on, but I didn't come into a challenge group. I never started in a challenge group. So to have one, I'm like, you have all these cheerleaders. This is amazing.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Beth, did you say you post your workout videos too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Separate from your vlogging, your post?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like similar to like your Instagram or Facebook stories, I just kind of go live in there a little bit, you know? And then I do have a little like video footage of my workout. My success partner and I, we actually record like one workout a week on Zoom together, and we share it in the challenge group and stuff too.
Okay, that's
just us being silly. Usually we're just dancing.
Love it. Are there any other questions? Anybody?
I just have a comment. I was in one of Beth's challenge groups way back, and Beth is extremely consistent. Extremely consistent. So yeah, she does post all of her workouts in there, but she also, I don't know if you still do this, but you used to do like an end of day like summary, and like she'd make like a collage of every meal that she had that day, and just how she's showing up every single day.
Yeah, and I actually ask my challengers to do that now too. So basically I don't actually do that anymore, Joe, because I post all my food on Instagram. in my story. So everybody gets to see it anyway. And it was duplication of me doing that in Instagram and then collaging it and then putting it in 6 different challenge groups and saying the same thing. So I just said, I'm going to stop duplicating my efforts. And if you want to see what I'm eating, you need to watch my Instagram story, because everything that goes in my pie hole is in that story. But yes, now my challengers do that. So a lot of times people say they struggle with their nutrition and stuff. And I know, yes, you can lie and take a picture of like this delicious, healthy food and then turn around and eat all your child's French fries, because I'm guilty of that. And I talk very honestly about my French fry problem. But it does help them. So if they're struggling with their nutrition, tell them to take pictures and post the collage of their pictures at the end of the day to hold themselves accountable. A lot of my challengers now do that. All of my coaches now do that, because so just like your children, they do whatever you did. And I did that. And so now they all do it. And now most of my challengers also do it. It's really helpful for like sharing like what you've eaten.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. Joe, you sound like you were going to say something.
I said I like that.
No, I know, but then it sounded like you were going to say something. No?
Nope. I'm done.
Okay, any last minute questions? Otherwise, Beth, do you mind if we reach out to you if we think of anything else?
No, not at all. I thank you guys so much for having me on your call. I hope like breaking down the vitals and the way that I did it, like I didn't really go into all of the jobs that I do, but I realistically should not be coaching because I don't necessarily have any time to do it. So if you undercomplicate what our vitals look like and don't listen to sending out 100 invites a day, and you do them really good when you do have time to do them and do them 1 vital a day really well, it's extremely effective.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%. Okay.
Let's take us before we get off. Because I'm just going to move my group chat. Okay.
Do you guys do this at the end of every call?
When I remember to make them, yes. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Beth. Thank you guys for hopping on.
Thank you all.
The time to join us and, making your business a priority. We will talk to you later. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Beth.